Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
So, obviously, this is a very busy time of year, and that's not even accepting the fact that there's NFL games on Wednesday, and so now I'm trying to get this up in a very big hurry. This past week, I went 7-3 on my picks. I went 1-1 in bowl games, 2-2 on the NFL, and then 4-0 in the college football playoff. And with the way the college football playoff turned out, with pretty much every game being a complete blowout, and all these commentators and pundits saying things like SMU and Indiana didn't belong in over Alabama, these are the same people who they complained back when there was a 14 playoff that all we had was Ohio State and Alabama and Clemson in all the time. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, oh, now you're complaining about not having Alabama in. Well, you know what? If you wanted a variety of teams, yeah, exactly, you have to accept that this is going to happen. In fact, I think Matt Berry of ESPN actually said this best. You could want a 12-team playoff, but you could also acknowledge that maybe there just aren't 12 teams capable of winning a national championship. And yeah, that's kind of borne a lot of fruit here, hasn't it? With my bowl game picks, I got the LA Bowl right and then missed on the Cure Bowl. I guess the Bobcats of Ohio are just much, much stronger than I ever picked them for, because I picked against them twice and they proved me wrong. Now, the Hawaii Bowl is being played tonight as I record this, so that's why I haven't talked about that one. And moving on to the NFL, I missed on the Jacksonville-Las Vegas game and the Minnesota-Seattle game. I basically ran a hunch on the Vikings. Again, as a Vikings fan, I've been down this road so many times where they have a team where they should, on all accounts, beat, and then they just mysteriously don't. And it kind of looked that way, but obviously with Sam Darnold hitting Justin Jefferson in the last few minutes of the game there, that turned out differently. As for the Jaguars-Raiders game, the Raiders are obviously tanking, so why on earth would they win? Okay, so we're going to move on to what we're covering this week here, and we're going to be doing things a little different since obviously the NFL games are being played first. We're going to talk about them first with these Christmas Day games. We're going to be covering Kansas City versus Pittsburgh, Baltimore versus Houston, New York Jets versus Buffalo, and Detroit versus San Francisco. And then in the college football playoff, we're going to be covering the Fiesta Bowl between Penn State and Boise State, the Peach Bowl between Texas and Arizona State, the Rose Bowl between Ohio State and Oregon, and the Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia. Also, I'm pretty sure that next week we're going to be starting off with the NFL coverage again, as well as, those will probably be going... The college football playoff quarterfinals are being held on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so that's Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm not going to know who's going to be in the semifinals until Thursday. So, yeah, we're going to have to obviously cover the NFL games first and then talk about the college ones. Okay, let's get to covering these things.
The Norelco razor hugs every contour, every curve for a shave incredibly close and comfortable. It's the one with floating heads for the perfect shave that makes the perfect gift. Norelco. We make close comfortable.
Try Rally's new XL combos and play the Always Good, Always Fast sweepstakes. You could win one of 2.5 million prizes. Rally's, twice as good, twice as fast.
Fruit juicy. Suddenly, from Hawaiian Punch, new Typhoon Blasters in 3 wild new flavors. Torrentially tasty orange, bursting bunches of grape, and furiously fruity tropical fruit with vitamin C and calcium. They're more nutritious than the leading fruit drink.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian Punch?
Sure.
New Typhoon Blasters, flavors with punch.
Introducing Orchard's Best. 100% juices with just picked fruit taste. Not fruit picked in the Renaissance period or the disco era or even last Columbus Day. We're talking just picked taste. And and 8 new flavors, like sweet strawberry peach. Look, if you wanted the taste of old fruit, you'd drink wine. The Just Pick taste of New Orchard's best. The taste that never gets old.
Let's start off with the Netflix Christmas game that pretty much no one is really talking about, and I don't know how many are actually going to be watching. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, this is the early game. It's being played at noon on Christmas, so again, I haven't heard anyone talking about this. None of the YouTube streamers who do those watch-along things are covering it, so, I mean, obviously it's Christmas Day, so I can understand if they want to take a little bit of time with their family, but yeah. Yeah, and like I said, no one is really talking about this. They're all talking about the other game, which we'll get to. So the Steelers are still fighting for a division championship right now. They're tied with Baltimore, and that alone could affect the Bengals' chances of making the playoffs. If the Steelers can't clinch the division by then, maybe they don't scrub out against the Bengals, and now the Bengals have to play their starters or the Steelers starters, if you catch my drift, to maybe get a chance at the playoffs, depending how that all shakes out. So far, the Steelers' run game is very grinding, I would say. It's like they're not dominating, but they run the ball fairly well, and that's bolstered the passing attack, is what I'm trying to say there. Anyway, unfortunately, I think the wide receiver core is also getting a little banged up here. I mean, Pickens hasn't played well. I don't think it's played in the last couple of games. That's started to affect things a little bit, too. And, on defense, TJ Watt is still injured, I believe, so I don't know if he's going to be playing. He sat out this game, but he sat out the last game, so maybe he was prepping for this one. Maybe there's a chance there. Now, the Chiefs are, the Chiefs, and that means they're pretty much the best team in the league. Yeah, I know, they win ugly, but they still win. And they've pretty much all but sewn up home field advantage in the playoffs, so there's not really much to say here. Yeah, again, like I said, they win ugly, but this is a lot like last year, and if we learn anything from last year is that we just shouldn't be picking against the Chiefs. But the one major thing I could say is that Chris Jones apparently has a calf strain, and that could really affect the Chiefs' defense, but that's all I can really say about this. And if you've noticed the other few times I've talked about the Chiefs this year, I just can't pick against them. I learned my lesson after last year. I'm not doing that again. I'm guessing this is probably a very close game. The Chiefs will probably pull away weight and win this one. So yeah, Kansas City will win.
Arizona is not just a state of the union. It's a state of mind. Arizona Jeanswear from the original Arizona Jean Company. It's more about attitude and latitude. It's clothes for people who think and people who care. It's clothes that fit your head. Arizona. Great prices, great jeanswear. On sale now for back to school. Only at JCPenney.
This is a commercial for cheese. Time for a snack. There's some cheese in the fridge. Throw some cheese on your fruits and muffins. They'll taste terrific. Looks good. May I?
Give your snacks a new attitude with cheese.
Here's your Pop-Tart. Another one.
See you after baseball practice.
Got the toaster strudel?
Of course. So when is your mom going to find out about toaster strudel?
Soon, I hope.
Pillsbury Toaster Strudel is like a Pop-Tart, but better, with layers of flaky pastry, juicy filling, and do-it-yourself icing.
So what do you do with the Pop-Tarts?
Something better just popped up in your grocer's freezer. Pillsbury Toaster Strudel.
Now on to the Christmas game that everyone does seem to be talking about, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. And let's face it, the main reason people are talking about this is because Beyonce is playing the halftime show. The Ravens are still playing pretty well. The defense did step up against Pittsburgh, so I'm guessing they've turned a corner now. I mean, that's been the main flaw with the Ravens all season. Like, their offense runs well, Derrick Henry runs the ball well, Lamar's been throwing the ball well, it's just the defense keeps doing them in, so hopefully this means they have turned the corner. Though it's going to be hard to tell against the Texans because they're so banged up that there's no oomph to that team anymore, unfortunately. Tank Dell was the latest injury, and I hope none of you were eating when that happened. And not to mention, the Texans have already clinched their division. I mean, they're in a lousy division. They've already clinched it. I guess they could play for pride and to maybe knock the Ravens down a peg, which would mean facing them again in the wild card round, but you never know. But overall, I think the Ravens are going to win this one pretty handily. It's going to be a couple possessions, 10-plus point victory, Baltimore wins.
Dry land is not just our destination, it is our destiny!
On a planet once called Earth, a child holds the secret to survival. And a lone man...
He'll come for me, he will.
...is her only hope.
I want the girl.
Kevin Costner, Waterworld, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Peter Pan tastes so peanutty because it's made from the best quality peanuts in the world.
They peanut butter anytime they can. Only if it's Peter Pan.
We're Beatrice.
You know what I love about football? Stuff like this. Block and sled. It's boom, boom. Who do you think's hit these guys? It's a big guy. That's what football is all about. You know the guy that I'm talking about? Weigh about 300, 340, 350, 3 whatever. If it weren't for the guys in the trenches and the linemen that did the blocking, went after guys, there wouldn't be any football.
The NFL on Fox. Same game, new attitude.
Our next matchup is the New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills, and technically home field advantage is still in play for Buffalo right now, but it's highly unlikely. Added to that, they're getting really banged up, and I think they took things a little too lightly against the Patriots. They played big in the second half, but remember, they were trailing, I think by, I want to say a touchdown at in last week's game at halftime. So yeah, that's kind of a very concerning thought there. I think the big key to the Bills' attack has been James Cook's running game. I think he's really taken off in a career year. It's taken a lot of pressure off of Josh Allen's shoulders. Again, if there's another concern with the Bills outside of those injuries, it's that the defense has been spotty at times even when they are healthy. Now, the Jets have actually been playing some of their best football of the season, and they still stink. They outplayed the Rams for about 3 quarters last week, and they were doing really well, and then, of course, it all fell apart. Aaron Rodgers got banged up. The defense is just bad overall, so yeah, the Bills will win this one by like 20 points.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
May I help you, sir?
Yeah, I'll have a Coca-Cola.
You sure you want a Coke?
Yeah, I want a Coke.
Okay, pal.
How did you order a Coke? It tastes good. Didn't care if it was a Coke. You just ordered it. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola.
Something to drink, sir?
I'll just have a...
You'll just have a...
I'll just have a Coke.
Ooh.
Hear that, guys? A Coca-Cola. See ya, pal. Oh!
Starting Friday, buy a McDonald's extra value meal and get an NBA fantasy pack free. Or pick one up for only 59 cents with any other purchase. Win NBA fantasy prizes, like ball person for a day at next year's All-Star game.
Here you go. Thanks, Bill.
Anytime, Michael.
Our last NFL game is the rematch of the NFC Championship game between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers, or should I say the remnants of both teams. The Lions did handle the Bears, which isn't really saying much. They still have a lot of injuries, though, and I don't know how much it's really affecting them. Again, kind of hard to tell against a terrible team like the Bears. As for the 49ers, well, they hung with the Dolphins kind of up until the fourth quarter and then fell apart. They're really decimated by injuries, too. There's really no offense with the 49ers right now. Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel are just not contributing that much. They really don't have much of a defense, so yeah, I think the Lions win this big rematch. Sorry I haven't had much to say about these games. Obviously, a few weeks ago when I selected them for this week, they probably had a bit more interest in them. I mean, San Francisco was playing pretty good until, again, the injuries just completely tore them apart. So, yeah, you could probably say the same with the Jets. They were kind of in the thick of the playoff chase is what I'm trying to say there. They were there very briefly, but not anymore. So, yeah, that's kind of what's happened here.
Those smart folks at Magnavox have asked me to tell you about all their highly intelligent products in just 15 seconds. You must be joking. Impossible. No way. Don't be ridiculous. The nerve. That's it. I quit.
Magnavox. Smart. Very smart.
I like the sound of something hot off the grill.
Sizzler's new home-style grill menu.
Sounds good. Give me some room and let me get my fill.
3 new grill entrees, $7.99 each. Grilled pork chops with chunky applesauce, tangy citrus glazed chicken, or burgundy marinated sirloin steak. And make yourself a big fresh salad at our salad bar free, each just $7.99.
Our next matchup is the Peach Bowl between Texas and Arizona State, the other oddball matchup of the college football playoff quarterfinals. The Longhorn defense will be key to stop Cameron Scatabo, the star running back from Arizona State, which means quarterback Sam Levitt is going to have to step up, and they're going to need some other weapons as well, as I believe their top receiver, Jordan Tyson, might also still be out. He sat out the Big 12 championship game. I'm not sure if he's off the team or injured or exactly what's going on there. So he could be contributing, for all I know. Added to that, I do think Arizona State's defense is still really questionable. Yeah, they played pretty well against Iowa State, but Iowa State isn't Texas. Now, the Longhorns really can't take things for granted here. I do think the Sun Devils are a dangerous team and are capable of pulling off a surprise. That being said, outside of the 2 games against Georgia, that really hasn't applied to Texas all season. They haven't taken an opponent lightly or looked really vulnerable, again, except against Georgia. So, Arizona State is a good story, but the Longhorns are just the better team overall. I think they're probably going to win this one rather handily by at least 14 points. Yeah, I know, it would be cool if Arizona State won in advance, but I just don't see it happening. Texas will win.
$45, eating 45 cents, eating 47 per pound, $4,700 phone, one time, got them 47.5.
What'll it be, fellas?
Make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, this is the last one.
Well, I think I've been. I'll take that one.
What do you want to give for it? I'm a 2 and a 10, give me 10, a 20 bid, give me 20 now, 30, give me 30 now, 40 bid, give me 40 now, 50, give me 50 now, 60 bid, give me 60 now, 70, give me 70 now, 80
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Sorry, boys. This is the last one.
In addition to its sleek styling and spacious leather and walnut-trimmed interior, the new Acura Legend Coupe LS has the precision of a 6-speed manual transmission, the sure-footedness of traction control, and the acceleration of a 230-horsepower engine. In the world of luxury automobiles, nothing can touch it.
Yeah, so as I noticed, I had to mute the audio here. Again, Sandstorm by Druida kept playing in the background, so we're going to have to make a little adjustment to avoid getting a copyright claim. So I'm just going to use the music I use in the end track segment. So the description's obviously in the end credits and in the show description part of YouTube. So that's where the music is from.
There's gravy in them kibbles. There's gravy in them bits. Son, there's gravy in them kibbles and bits and gravy bits.
Kibbles and bits and gravy bits.
Gravy, son.
For centuries, they have roamed the earth, hiding in the shadows, preying on unsuspecting victims. They are legion. They are legend. And they are not always
I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
what you expect.
Interesting.
Eddie Murphy.
Kind of itches a little.
Eddie Murphy.
I'll put a hole in your afro.
Angela Bassett. And Eddie Murphy. Vampire in Brooklyn.
Never sit on my coffin, okay?
Rated R. Starts Friday, October 27th, everywhere.
5 ounces of milk make every 3/4 ounce Kraft single taste better. How do they do that?
See, they take the slice and make it into a rocket. Then they shoot it to the Milky Way. And when it gets back, it's busted with milk.
More milk means better taste, and every 3/4 ounce Kraft single is made from 5 ounces of milk, unlike imitation cheese made mostly with oil and water.
It looks like the moon.
Milk makes Kraft singles taste better.
K-R-A-F-T. Want me to tell it again?
Our next college football playoff quarterfinal is the Rose Bowl between Ohio State and Oregon. The big rematch we are finally getting here. And the Buckeyes are angry and feel disrespected, don't they? I mean, look what they did to Tennessee. That is a team on a mission, isn't it? I mean, yeah, they lost to Oregon earlier this year. Could have faced them again in the They could have faced them again in the Big Ten championship game, but then lost to Michigan, and I think that's just turned all the pundits against them. So now they feel like it's them against the world. Ohio State does still have a very potent running attack, like I said last week. And it seems that Will Howard definitely stepped up and had a huge passing game against the Vols, so now that looks very potent as well. As for the Oregon Ducks, well, they've obviously been number one ever since beating Ohio State. Dylan Gabriel was a Heisman finalist. They can run the ball and throw it well. Gabriel is a very mobile quarterback. Again, I think their main flaw is their defense, which can be questionable at times. They gave up a lot of points during the season. I mean, you look at their close games, Ohio State, Boise State, even the Big Ten championship against Penn State, they did kind of surrender a lot there. And like I said, the Ducks have only been tested a few times this season, and the Buckeyes are definitely looking for revenge. I think this is probably the surprise game this weekend. I think Ohio State is going to beat Oregon. It might squeak by, it might even be in overtime, but yeah, I think the Buckeyes win this one.
Here it goes. Hey, Mom. Hi, guys. Hey. Worked up a sweat. Yeah, sort of. Hey, what's your drink? All right, we got soda, OJ, purple stuff. Yeah.
Tastes like orange, tangerine, and lime.
Some healthy junk, too. Hey, way to go, Mom. All right.
Sunny Delight, the good stuff kids go for.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
I'm Steve Young, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm also an attorney. Personally, I think the two have a lot in common. For instance, you're allowed to make an opening statement, and then the defense can come after you. The punishment usually fits the crime, and most of your objections are overruled. Oh, what a play! And you wind up dealing with some of the slipperiest people you'll ever meet. But don't tell any of the other guys I'm a lawyer, because I don't do contract negotiation.
NFL on Fox, same game, new attitude.
Our next college football playoff matchup is the Rose Bowl between Ohio State and Oregon. The big rematch, finally. Yeah, everyone thought these two were going to face each other in the Big Ten championship game, and after Oregon defeated Ohio State in the regular season, that all seemed pretty dang likely until Ohio State then lost to Michigan, which sort of set things off and instead put Penn State in there. Now, given the way that the Buckeyes played last week against Tennessee, they're angry. They obviously feel disrespected and now have taken on an us against the world mentality. Again, given what's happened, I can't be too terribly surprised. They still have a very powerful running attack, and Will Howard is now throwing the ball extremely well. As for Oregon, well, Dylan Gabriel was a Heisman finalist. He is a mobile quarterback, so he can throw and run the ball. They have a good, potent offense. The only big question is their defense. They tend to surrender a lot of points, and I think that's just too much of a question mark right now. Ohio State is out looking for revenge. They're angry. I think this is going to be surprise, but this is definitely going to be the big upset of sorts. I think Ohio State is going to win this one. I just don't see Oregon winning it. Again, just the way Ohio State's playing right now, I got to go with the Buckeyes. They'll probably squeak one out. Maybe it'll be in overtime, but other than that, yeah, it's Ohio State all the way.
Which of these leading cough medicines do you prefer?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, this looks really different.
This other one's so runny. It's watery.
Oh, this coat's better.
Is this a trick?
That colored water?
This would feel good going down.
Looks like serious medicine. What is it?
New Vicks 44.
New?
It coats even better than before. Better than the other leading syrup. It contains maximum strength cough relief, and people with a cough prefer it.
Well, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
New Vicks 44, the one more people prefer.
It was parents' night at karate class. Everyone wore their whitest. Well, almost everyone. Looks like somebody forgot the Clorox bleach. Clorox gets whites whiter than any detergent alone. So, if you want your family to wear their whitest whites, don't forget the Clorox bleach.
And now our final college football playoff matchup, the Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia, which means it must be 1980. Anyway, the Fighting Irish obliterated Indiana in their game last week. However, it seemed like Jeremiah Love, who was the leading force of the Irish running attack, got re-injured again. He had just come back from injury, and again, it seems like he's hurt again. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. If Love can go, I think, again, the fact that Notre Dame's primarily rushing team is going to be big, as the Bulldogs are likely to key on that, which could open up some play-action passing attempts for Riley Leonard. Added to that, the Irish defense is also very strong, while the Bulldogs' offense is questionable, especially now that Carson Beck is done for the season. Gunnar Stockton is in at quarterback, and while he did play very well in the SEC title game, I think that was much more an offensive management type role there. A game manager is what I'm trying to say. I don't think that was him having all the weight of the world on his shoulders. So I don't know if we're quite into Cardale Jones territory just yet, but it might be. Now, the Bulldogs' defense is normally strong, but it can be kind of suspect at times. Look at the losses to Alabama and Ole Miss. Look at the fact that they kind of sleptwalked through their rivalry game against Florida. The fact that it took 8 overtimes to beat Georgia Tech. You know, which Georgia team are we going to get? Are we going to get the one that dominated Texas, or are we going to get the one that, barely scraped by or lost? So I think Georgia is the stronger team. I think Notre Dame can give them a good fight, but I think the Bulldogs are going to hold on and win this one here. So I think we're going to get the one they got against Texas at least. So yeah, Georgia will win.
Ragu introduces Beef Tonight, and suddenly people can't wait to get home for dinner. Beef Tonight. 3 new simmer sauces made with real vegetables and herbs. Turns your ground beef into hearty meals like barbecue beef and beef stroganoff. So get on home to Beef Tonight. Just brown the beef, simmer, and serve. Beef Tonight simmer sauces from Ragu. I feel like beef tonight.
So I met this girl. I asked her to dinner and a movie. She asked, what do you have in mind? So I said,
make it a blockbuster night and a border night too. Go to Taco Bell, buy tacos or burritos and a medium drink. Get a free blockbuster video. 2-for-1 rental and Taco Bell food. Make it a blockbuster night and a border night too.
hurry and get a coupon for a 2-for-1 blockbuster video rental when you buy food and a medium drink at Taco Bell.
Cross the border.
Son, there's gravy in them kibbles. There's gravy in them bits. Son, there's gravy in them kibbles and bits and gravy bits.
Kibbles and bits and gravy bits.
Gravy, son.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I like Kansas City over Pittsburgh and Baltimore over Houston in the NFL Christmas games, and I like Buffalo over the New York Jets and Detroit over San Francisco in the Sunday games. On the college football playoff side, I like Boise State over Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, Texas over Arizona State in the Peach Bowl, Ohio State over Oregon in the Rose Bowl, and Georgia over Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. And yeah, I'm hoping these college football playoff games are good. They obviously, after the weekend of blowouts, just a game that comes down to single digits, I think would be a huge victory for the college football playoff right now. Okay, so I posted this on my channel earlier, but in the next video will finally be the random trade review on Harley Quinn Hot in the City. I've got it shot. I've got the audio recorded. I just need to edit it all together. It'll be up the day after Christmas. After that, it will be the recap and review for AEW World's End, and then maybe, if things shake out right, some other new wrestling content might come up. Ooh, exciting. And then hopefully the Agatha All Along review, which is the other delayed thing I can't seem to get to for some reason. Okay, so the games we're covering next week, obviously, we'll be covering the college football playoff semifinals. We'll delve into the NFL playoff picture. And then games-wise, we'll at least be covering Chicago versus Green Bay, Minnesota versus Detroit, Jacksonville versus Indianapolis, and Buffalo versus New England to round things out. Again, yeah, I know things that just didn't quite shake out right, and the last week of the season got a little wonky there. At least the playoffs will have a bit more control to them with the NFL. Okay, see you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you can be alerted to further videos.